106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Right on, and welcome to New Music Saturday with myself, my co-hosts and friends, the Mad Andersons, Nolan and Catherine.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
And then tonight, our special guest is Chris Skates, who is Audio Spectral. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks very much. Glad to be here.
So, first off, Chris, Audio Spectral, I mean, the reason why I'm asking about the name is because when I first heard the name, it just automatically, the first thought that popped into my mind was just the spectrum of music and color. Now, was that kind of related to the name of your project, or just?
Nope, that's exactly it.
I
actually went with Audio Spectrum about 10 years ago, and when I started getting more into the music scene, producing music and stuff, I realized somebody else out there had the same name, so I switched it to Spectro, but found out that in Latin, I mean, that was the exact translation in Latin, was the full spectrum of music. So.
Oh wow, that's the first time I think I've actually nailed band's name on the head.
Yeah, I know.
But so moving on, your form of music. How did you kind of get into that? I know you said. You changed your name about 10 years ago, so obviously you've been in the game for a while. So what kind of got you into this type of creating?
So when I was a kid, in America, most people like three types of music: country music, rock music, and pop music or hip hop.
Right.
And so I liked it all at first. I had friends that, listen to heavy metal, Metallica, Iron Maiden, that kind of stuff. And I still love that stuff today. I mean, I love hard rock music. But I think what really stood out in my mind when I was a kid was the use of keyboards in music. Gary Newman comes to mind immediately with Cars.
Right.
And then, of course, Depeche Mode was, and Yaz, I mean, they were full on, electronic music, and I just thought it was incredible, and that they could do the things that they could do. I mean, obviously rock music, country music, they've evolved over time, but electronic music scene has, I think, seen the most evolution, and as technology gets better, it's almost limitless what you can do with electronic music. And so I don't know, then the 90s came, the rave scene. I got really interested in DJing, so I did that for a little bit, and found that just wasn't scratching my itch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started getting into music production in 2000 when I bought my first DAW, or digital audio workstation, from Sony Acid.
Okay.
And started doing it. And I've used Acid pretty much all through the time, but I've also used a lot of other different programs, Cubase and Reason, Readout, just a bunch of different things thrown together to try to make it all happen.
You know what? Speaking of Reason, I've actually tried to use that program. I've talked about this a few times on past shows, and it's been very, very frustrating but rewarding at the same time, because it's a lot trial by error. Because I remember when I first got the program and years ago, so this is the program I have is like at least 5-6 years old plus, and I got the program and I was trying to work with it, and I just getting frustrated. So I'm trying to YouTube it. The YouTube is doing no good. I even called a couple of buddies of mine, and I said who were like at least 500 miles away plus, and said, "Have you used the program before?" "Yes." "How to use it?" "I can't tell you, man, because you got to work on it. It's just trial and error. It's a pain in the ass, I know, but you'll get it." So,
yeah, the first time I ever saw it being used was a friend of mine, Oliver. He's the one that kind of really got me into DJing and music production, and he he showed me Reason for the first time. He told me, showed me how the rack can turn around and you can move this plug to this plug and
right.
stuff. And I was just like, what does the manual look like? And it looked like, this huge 800 page, and I'm just like, let me just throw that away. Forget
yeah.
that. And I mean, I have to say, all of music production for me has just been trial and error. I mean, it's I took Reason and I made some sounds and stuff with it, and I put it in some other programs, and I fooled around with it until I came up with something I liked, and then I just went with that, and that's how I did it.
Right on. Well, Noah and Catherine, you guys had a few questions.
Go ahead.
It sounds like you were influenced by the British synth pop in the 80s. Going back a little further, did you ever listen to any Eno or early Roxy Music or stuff like that?
I was pretty young back then, so there was a guy that I really honed in on in the 70s, Giorgio Moroder. I'm sure you all know who that is. And I distinctly remember one song in particular that he produced for Donna Summer, and that was in 1977, I Feel Love.
Right.
And I just thought that was the most awesome disco song I've ever heard, and come to find out the whole thing was done on keyboards and, they're like some of the earliest drum machines and synthesizers, and I was just like, wow, that's incredible. So, and today, I mean, Giorgio Moroder just put out an album, I think it was last year or earlier this year or something, and it's fantastic. It's just amazing, how many decades the guy's been in the game, and it's still relevant music, Great.
Good point. Catherine?
Yeah, so you said you work with music production. So you're working with other artists then and producing other people's work, or is this primarily your own? Or
No, it's strictly my own. I have taught collaboration, especially with one of the guys on the label that I have been working with over the last 6 months. But we haven't produced anything yet, so pretty much everything has been mine.
Got it.
Well, right on. So we're going to take a quick little break here, and we're going to get on to your song, which is on this NYC Factory Fast compilation called Passing Through Gates. This is Audio Spectro. Dig this.